Now on first glance you might mistake this card for a box, but actually what you'll see is it will fold completely flat to go into an envelope just as a card would, yet when it stands up it is going to make a real showstopper card. Now it might be a little bit, depending on how you embellish it, thick for a regular envelope, but of course you could be making a dimensional envelope using your Ultimate as well. Now, really easy to get started. Put that to one side. I'm going to bring in the Ultimate, and I've cut a piece of cardstock to 12 inches by 8 inches, okay? And we're going to start off by resting it up against where the handle is with the short edge, and we're going to score the gatefold A4 line, which is this one here. Now we're going to score right along that line, fold and burnish the crease, rest the crease line back up against the handle, and score the same line again. Now I want you to do that 4 times. And what it will give us is it would give us a sheet of A4 cut exactly into 4 pieces for a gatefold, but actually remember we cut this cardstock larger than A4. We cut it to 12 inches, whereas A4 is just slightly smaller. So what you'll find is when we do that last bit, that leaves us a nice little flap for gluing, okay? So I'm just going to burnish that as well. Okay, then we put the long edge up against the handle, and then we're going to score the 5-inch square fold line. And we're not going to score it on this first panel here. We're going to pick it up and score it through the remaining 3 and a little bit panels, okay? So that is all of our scoring done for the main piece. Actually, while we're on scoring, what I'll do is I'll score the central pieces for the inside. So these central pieces are 2.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches along this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to rest them. Instead of putting it at the top, we're going to rest it against the gatefold A5 line. So it's just going to be rested there, and we're going to score the half fold A4, which is this last line here, okay? And you're going to turn that round, and where that score line is, you're going to sit it over top of the gatefold A4 line. What you should find is it pretty much lines up with your gatefold A5, but do sit that score line into the channel and score the half fold A4 again. All right, let me show you that with the second piece, because you do need to do 2 of these. So first of all, we rest up against gatefold A5 and score half fold A4, then we turn around and you're going to sit that in there, and we're going to score the half fold A4 again. Okay, now we'll pop the Ultimate to one side, pop our cards to one side, and we'll start off with the big piece here. And what we're going to do is we're first of all going to cut up all of these panels. So you cut right up the centre piece of the score line, and then on the last panel you're going to cut this away all together, so just cutting slightly to the left of the score line, and this is going to be our gluing flap, so I'm just going to shape off the sides. Okay, now we'll fold and burnish the additional score line as well, obviously only on 3 of the panels. And what you'll see is this here is going to be our gluing panel to stick the box together, and that will give us our core box shape. So if we put this down, put the glue on, what you should find is these should fold together, and I like to glue them flat like this so that you know it is definitely going to fold flat. Okay, so that's how it would sit in our envelope. Now, so for our central pieces inside, you're going to fold, first of all, fold both of them inwards, because that's how you should always fold your score lines. But then we're going to take one the other way so that we end up with a zigzag. Okay, so do the same again. We're going to fold and burnish the opposite way, and then take one over to form a zigzag. And then these are going to sit inside your project like this. Can you see? So that they will fold flat but then stick up back in place. So again, just taking them one at a time. This sits in place first of all into here, and then we're going to take that straight across here diagonally. And so you can see how when that lies down flat, it's going to go straight and then pop up. And we'll do the same with the second piece. That is going to just sit inside. This time I'll align this one at the very, very top. And then this one will just sit in there. And you want to try and get these as square as possible. So just making sure that's all really well stuck down. And then what you can see I've done is I've just taken some decorative panels here to show you a few ideas of how this could be decorated. But what I like to do is when I'm sticking these on, I do like to use little bits that can pop up. So I've got pieces here that we're sticking in like this. But then see, I've also got small pieces onto some acetate, so that they will just sit inside and give just a little bit more dimension to the card, as you can see. So again, just a little bit of tape on, some hearts on the front, and then I've got another piece here on some acetate, which is just going to sit inside there. And it just shows you there how this can go flat to go in an envelope, and it's going to lie perfectly in an envelope this way, or it can jump up and stand proud on its own. And they really are perfect cards for special birthdays or really special occasions, and you can go to town embellishing these and make a truly, truly spectacular centerpiece.